Hi, literary luminaries, and welcome back to another Top 5 Thursday. This week's topic is books that you're intimidated by. I had fun with this one, and a couple of them are intimidating for different reasons. So, without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. Number 1 is probably the one that I've been trying to read for the longest and still have not managed to finish, and that's The Silmarillion by Tolkien. Now, I'm not intimidated by it because of the writing. I don't really have trouble with Tolkien's writing in general. You know, I've read Scarlet Letter. If I can manage my way through that, I can probably manage my way through most things. The problem with Silmarillion is that every character has about 5 names and it goes by a 6th. And I can't keep track of all the characters. I got through like the first couple chapters once and had absolutely no idea what was going on or who was anyone, and then it jumped somewhere else, and I've just been very, very lost the entire time I've tried to read it. And I really do want to read it. I enjoy the world, I enjoy, learning new things about it and all that jazz, but I just, can't quite sink my teeth into it, so it's a little daunting. Number 2. Number 2 is a book I believe I got for Christmas, either Christmas or my birthday, by a relative who likes sending me books for presents, and that's Lolita. And I don't know what kind of writing Lolita is, to be perfectly honest, but I sort of know the general gist of the core plot of the story, and I know it's one that's a little bit controversial, I think. And just there's been something about it that it's been sitting on my shelf for I don't know how long now. And I haven't quite got myself up to actually reading it. I don't know, it's funny, I don't usually shy away from controversial things. See, the fact that I sought out This Is Where It Ends. But there's something about it that I'm just a little bit nervous to read it. $10 says I finally do read it, and it's nothing like what I was afraid it was going to be, and I'm just going to be very let down by the whole thing. But for right now, not sure about that one. Number 3. Number 3 is a book that I got at the insistence of at least one of my other friends, and was basically told outright that it was going to be a daunting book. And then several of my other friends read it and said that it was terrifying and daunting. So anyone that knows me knows that terrifying is not necessarily something I've been a huge fan of up until maybe a little bit recently. And that is House of Leaves. House of Leaves, just looking at House of Leaves is, depending on what page you flip open to, there's 6 words and they're all in the center of the page, and then you go to the next page and it's just a page-long footnote. And, I haven't started reading it, but I don't know how to follow books like that. Like, how do you read books like that? I don't even know where to start. And I know it's something like 4 stories all in one, and I don't know, just the descriptions of it make me kind of go, I am looking forward to eventually reading it. I've also heard that it's a really cool book, but for right now, not so sure. Number 4. Both number 4 and number 5 are predominantly because of their size. And number 4, I don't even necessarily know if I'd like number 4, but number 4 is Infinite Jest, because I've seen that in Barnes & Noble. It's like this thick. It's a hardcore book. It is not messing around. I remember I've seen a couple friends of mine have read it. I know that in the few conversations I've had with Tony Noland about his book is that he references Infinite Jest, not necessarily in his writing, but sort of in relation to how he writes. And I remember how, not trouble, but how much sort of effort went into parsing Verbosity's Vengeance. So, as much as I've heard that Infinite Jest is a really interesting book, still a little daunted by the fact that, I think it's bigger than The Brick of Les Miserables. And finally, number 5. Number 5 is one that I've sort of had this weird fascination with since high school? Yeah, since high school. I was supposed to write an essay about... I don't remember what the initial topic was. It was supposed to be about an influential person. And sort of like alternate history sort of stuff. At least that's what I ended up writing about. Ergo, I assume that's what the assignment was. But the book in question it's the only one I have a copy of right here, is The People versus Lee Harvey Oswald. I wrote an essay about Oswald in the concept of what would have happened if he hadn't been shot and he could have gone to trial. And that's basically what this book is. This is the trial of Lee Harvey Oswald for the alleged assassination of JFK. But for one, it's also not a small book. And two, just from the pieces that I remember reading of it for my essay, it's really dense. I mean, it's a court case. It is a fictitious account, but it's a court case. And there's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of in-depth, and there's a lot of terminology that I may not know. There's a lot going on in this book, and to just sit down and read it as a book, I'm a little daunted, because when I'm researching, I just sort of poked around and took the pieces that I needed and then wandered away. This, as just a read, gonna be a little bit more interesting. But I'm super excited. Anyone that knows me knows I have a strange fascination for Lee Harvey Oswald and the assassination of JFK. Oh, that's a whole nother story, though. In any event, those are my 5. I sort of realized halfway through that my sort of honorable mention is Les Miserables, the proper unabridged brick version of it. I'm not necessarily daunted by that, though. I've read the unabridged, so I know the basic story. It's just massive, so it's going to be an undertaking. So, those are my 6, I guess. Oh no, I'm breaking the rules. Let me know, what about yours? What are your top 5 books that you're intimidated by reading, and what intimidates you about them? I'm sort of interested about that one as well. So feel free to leave me a note down in the comments below, or shoot me a tweet on Twitter at @KOrionFrey. I'd love to hear from you either way. If you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and of course you can always subscribe to be notified when I put up new videos. I post twice a week on Tuesday and Thursday. So until next time, I will bid you adieu, and I will see you again on Tuesday for a new Tuesday Talks.